You think Blackbeard was the peak of piracy? You're wrong. The most famous pirate in history died in an afternoon. And the strongest one? You've never heard her name. She didn't die fighting, she retired. 5 tiers. Let's climb. This is Tier 5, Jack Sparrow. Or rather, the man he was based on. Calico Jack Rackham, the pirate flag everyone recognizes. Skull, crossed swords, that's his. His career? 2 years. No major hauls, no famous battles. October 1720, Jamaican privateers board his ship at anchor. Calico Jack and his crew are below deck, drunk, asleep. The only people who fought back? Anne Bonnet and Mary Read. 2 women in men's clothes, swinging cutlasses on the deck while the entire crew passed out below. Calico Jack was hanged the next morning. Anne Bonnet's last words to him, "Had you fought like a man, you need not have hanged like a dog." The pirate flag every Halloween costume copies belonged to a man who got caught drunk and asleep. He's not the only joke at this tier. Stede Bonnet, the gentleman pirate, a wealthy plantation owner who got bored of his wife and bought a pirate ship. He didn't even know how to sail it, hired a real crew to do the work. Hanged in Charleston less than 2 years later. That's Tier 5. This is Tier 4, Blackbeard. Edward Teach, the face of piracy. Tied burning fuses into his beard for psychological effect. His ship, the Queen Anne's Revenge. 40 guns, the flagship of the Caribbean. He ran it aground on a sandbar in 1718. Sank his own legend. His career? 2 years. He even took the king's pardon, walked away, a free man, then went back to piracy within months. November 1718. A single Royal Navy operation. Lieutenant Robert Maynard hides his sailors below deck. Blackbeard boards, sees an empty ship, thinks he's won. Then they swarm up, hand-to-hand combat, 5 pistol shots, 20 cuts. Maynard cuts off his head, hangs it from the bowsprit, sails it back to Virginia as a trophy. The most feared pirate in history. Walked into an empty deck and got tricked to death by a lieutenant nobody remembers. Anime gave him eternity. History gave him 2 years. That's the limit of legend. So that's piracy. Costumes. 2 years. A severed head. You probably think we're done with the bullshit. We're not. This is Tier 3. Henry Every. September 1695. The Mughal Empire's treasure ship Ganji Sawai sails from Mecca towards Surat. 600 passengers, including the emperor's granddaughter. Every ship intercepts it. The battle lasts 2 hours. Every wins. The haul? 600,000 pounds sterling. In modern money, over $100 million. The largest single act of piracy in history. The fallout? Emperor Aurangzeb threatens to expel the East India Company from India entirely. The British Crown issues the world's first international manhunt. Every captain in the empire is hunting him. Every vanishes. Some say Ireland, some say America. Some say he died penniless. No one knows. No body, no grave, no confirmed death. This changes the metric. Below this tier, pirates were measured by how loud they died. Blackbeard's head on a spike. Calico Jack on the gallows. Loud deaths, public deaths. Henry Every rewrote the rule. The greatest pirate isn't the one who fought hardest. It's the one who vanished. From here, we measure differently. This is Tier 2, Francis Drake. To the Spanish, the worst pirate alive. To the English, Sir Francis. 1577 to 1580. Drake circumnavigates the globe, the second man in history to do it. Along the way, he hunts Spanish treasure ships across the Pacific. The Cacafuego, off the coast of Peru. Drake takes it without a single death on his side. The cargo, 26 tons of silver, 80 pounds of gold, 13 chests of silver coins. The total haul from his voyage, worth roughly half of England's annual revenue. Queen Elizabeth knights him on the deck of his own ship. The Spanish ambassador watches in silence. 1588. Spain sends the Armada to invade England. 130 ships. The largest naval invasion Europe had ever seen. Drake helps shatter it. Fire ships in the channel. Storm and pursuit do the rest. The empire that ruled the New World is broken at sea. Drake didn't just rob ships. He cracked an empire. He bent the future of the Atlantic. So why isn't he God tier? Because Drake never worked alone. Every raid had a royal license. Every coin went partly to the crown. He was a state employee with cannons. His title wasn't pirate, it was privateer, a pirate with paperwork. And his death? 1596, off the coast of Panama. Not in battle, not in glory, dysentery. Sir Francis Drake died shitting himself in a cabin in the Caribbean. The greatest English pirate needed a queen's permission to be feared. The next one didn't. This is God tier. Zheng Yisao. You've probably never heard the name. That's the point. Born around 1775, a prostitute on a floating brothel in Canton. She marries a pirate captain, Zheng Yi. He dies in 1807. She doesn't inherit his fleet, she takes it. Within 3 years, she commands the largest pirate confederation in human history. 80,000 men, up to 1,800 ships. For comparison, the British Royal Navy at the Battle of Trafalgar had roughly 17,000 sailors at sea. Zheng Yisao had nearly 5 times that, in one ocean. She doesn't run a gang, she runs a state. Her pirate code is written down. Disobey a superior officer, beheading. Steal from the common fund, beheading. Rape a female captive, beheading. Even consensual relations with a captive without permission, beheading. Female prisoners are registered, protected. A pirate empire with stricter sexual assault laws than most nations of the era. 80% of every haul goes to the central treasury. The captain of the raid keeps 20. This isn't piracy. This is taxation. The Qing Empire sends a fleet to crush her. She destroys half of it, captures dozens of imperial warships, adds them to her own navy. Foreign mercenaries follow. She breaks them too. By 1810, the Emperor of China stops trying to defeat her. He sends a negotiator instead. The deal? Full pardon. For her, her officers, her men. She keeps her wealth. She keeps a private fleet. She accepts. She walks away from the most powerful pirate empire that ever existed. Free, rich, untouched. She opens a gambling house in Canton, runs it for 3 decades, dies in her own bed, 68 years old. Blackbeard ended on a spike. Drake ended in his own filth. Every disappeared into a rumor. Zheng Yisao retired. The Emperor of China begged her to stop. She said yes, on her terms. This is God tier. The strongest pirate in history was a Chinese woman who retired richer than the King of England. You aren't taught this, now you know. Disagree? Drop your captain. Always.